Listening to the silence, but they don't know the sounds. Sickening gunshots ringing out from the crowd. 100 down. What? What's that?
Why won't this place just die? Why is it the only thing that is resistant to the vine's hold?
Nix, what are you doing over here? What is this place? Why does it look so beautiful?
Squeaks, you aren't supposed to be back here. But I'm not sure it matters anyway. This room is resistant to the spread of the vines. I guess you could say they're a sort of parasite. I'm not entirely sure what they are or where they came from. They're alive. They latch on to people and use them as hosts to spread further.
That doesn't sound good. Why do you want them to spread further?
Because they're the only thing keeping me somewhat alive.
What are you talking about? You're a ghost like me, aren't you? I
am a ghost like you. Unfortunately, I'm just not the same kind.
Oh. Huh. I knew there were other types of ghosts, but I thought you were just like me. How did you die then if you're not a specter? How did you end up here?
I was falsely accused of a crime that I didn't do. I was guillotined. I died. Well, young by today's standards. With no real family around. The whole world hated me.
That sounds horrible.
It is. That's why I'm so lucky to have you here, Squeaks. As my friend.
You never answered my question. How did you end up here? What do the vines have to do with it?
Oh, yes. Right. Well, after I died. Sorry, it's just painful to talk about.
No, I understand. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I could always leave.
No! You should know, I haven't talked to many people about it, but I feel safe with you.
You do?
I mean, yeah, we're friends, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess we are friends then, huh?
Yeah, I haven't been able to talk to Sturk about this either. He hasn't been talking to me much since the ceremony. Last time we talked...
We're supposed to be in this together. When are you actually going to?
You know that I'm working on it! These things take time.
Look, I don't know what your problem has been, but I don't like it. You need to get it together. Ceremony's in a few days, and all you've been able to do is bitch at me. You're really starting to piss me off. We need to get our plan back on track.
You need to stop worrying so much. I'll get it done.
Whatever.
Well, I guess we can talk about it then. So, how did you end up here?
After I died, I didn't make it to purgatory, like you say where Mousey went, or anything of the sort. My soul, I guess, was trapped with the vines.
Trapped?
I was tethered to them. My soul, I wasn't able to rest properly, and I stayed there rotting for years and years. But then, hope came along. Now, I know I've never told you this, Squeaks, but there was a ruler of the Netherlands before me, a person named Crash. One day, she wandered into the caves. You know, the ones near mainland, well, in mainland, and she fell in with the vines. She didn't know back then, but around the early or mid-1700s, that's where I died. They didn't even bother to give me a proper burial. They chucked me in a cave, and that's when the vines got me. When Crash wandered in, the vines used her. They used me.
What happened?
I was forced into possessing her. Having a body is a lot better than having a conscience. You know that. But I didn't. The vines forced me into it. I'm just a pawn in their game.
You possessed her?
Only because the vines forced me. I didn't want to, although it did come with some perks. Now I'm able to stand here with you.
What happened to Crash?
It's a long story. She's just gone now. She disappeared after, well, killing your friend, Mousey.
What?
Yes, I didn't want to tell you, but Mousey was killed by Crash. She was shot at the banquet we had many months ago, perhaps about 7 months ago. I truly didn't want to break your heart.
Mousey was murdered? Do you have any idea where Crash went?
If I knew, I'd tell you, Squeaks. Unfortunately, Crash vanished off the face of the overworld.
Well, how does that make any sense? Weren't you possessing her? You didn't have a role in killing Mousey, did you?
I would never know. By then, I had gained enough power to somewhat separate my soul from her physical form. I managed to find my old body and reanimate myself. You know, it's all very technical, and I wouldn't exactly know how to explain it, but it happened.
Oh.
Yes, after Crash deserted her post here in Netherlands, I took this place over. Yes, it used to be more orange. You know, the bedrock here is sandstone, however, you wouldn't notice with all the vines around. Unfortunately, in my attempts to further separate myself from the vines, I grew closer attached to them. They somewhat control me. I'm tethered to them, and if they die, I die. Although I am better than some of the infected, it's truly tragic what's happening to Kay. It's better for all of us if they fester in a controlled environment, like the Netherlands. That way, I get to live my life, somewhat as I please.
I mean, but why did Crash feel the need to murder Mousey?
I'm telling you, Squeaks, she's gone mad. There's nothing you can do to change that. I know Mousey was your role model and all.
She wasn't my role model.
Okay, not a role model, but she was your entire reason for existing, was she not? Aren't you tethered to her?
I guess.
You know, this is the dying heart of the Netherlands. That's what this place is. It's true. For whatever reason, this place is resistant to the vines. I could barely walk in here. It was like some sort of barrier at first. It's one of the only things that remind me of Crash. It brings up horrid memories every time I'm in here, remembering what that sick woman did to Mousey, one of our dearest friends. That's why I want the vines to take over this place, to wipe out anything that's left of her here. Yes, I feel bad for her. I put her in an impossible position, but she shouldn't have killed somebody because of it.
Yeah, I guess that is really difficult, but it's not like Mousey didn't have it coming. She was a horrible person. Well, not completely. She was evil at times, but she did care about the people close to her. I'm not entirely sure. I feel as though I know her best, but I don't know her at all. She's confusing and deranged. She left me with all of her stuff, and I can't even figure out what I'm going to do with it all. I still can't even fathom what I'm going to do with the Reaper.
Yes, it can be difficult sometimes, when the people you're supposed to trust aren't trustworthy at all. My father was the same way.
Oh?
Yes, he was an interesting man. He made me who I am today. He was a horrible, horrible person to my mother and me. He was abusive. He would hit my mother while, most of the time I was in my room.
That's awful.
Yes, but he's dead now. Water under the bridge. You know, I could take that Reaper thing off your hands and give you one less thing to worry about.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's not mine, it's Mousey's. I'm just holding on to it for safekeeping.
Okay, you don't have to. Although, I could probably sever you from Mousey.
Sever?
Yeah, I reckon there's probably a way to separate you two using it. You two are soul bonded or something like that, yes? You said it yourself. The afterlife is complicated. I bet there's a way to remove your ties.
I guess maybe.
I would bet money on it. Besides, you wouldn't want Mousey interfering with your relationship with Alice and all. I see the way you two look at each other, like lost little puppies.
Yeah, I'm talking to her.
Yes, young love is very strong. You know, I used to be in love once with a girl named Opal, and I ruined it. At least I only have myself to blame for what happened to her. You might not have that luxury. It would be a shame if someone like Mousey were to go and mess that up for you. She'll be very angry. You know how she is. I think she'll be angry regardless of what you do, and you don't want that to ruin things.
You were in love? Opal? That's an uncommon name for someone hundreds of years ago. If you don't mind me saying that, of course.
That's because she was a unique type of person. You know, the gemstone wasn't discovered until at least 100 years later. She was ahead of her time. She was very sweet and very shy. She was one of the first people I've ever met outside of my immediate family.
What happened to her?
She passed, like many of the people in my life. She died. I don't want the same thing happen to you. I advise you give that weapon away to someone, even if it isn't me.
I just don't know what will happen. It's not mine to give away. I guess severing us would be better for everyone, but that's not really my decision to make.
Sure it is. You have the Reaper, do you not? You are currently acting in Mousey's position, so I say that you may do what you wish with her items. Besides, she'll have a way harder time finding you once you have no ties to her.
I guess she would. Yeah, but I could always just probably sever myself.
Ah, but you don't know how.
Neither do you.
I think giving the Reaper to me would help both of our problems. I'm sure there's not much of a learning curve to using it, at least for me. You've had it in your possession for a while and have done nothing for its power. It might be time to give it up to someone who can use it.
What if it hurts you? It's only supposed to be given by the gods. I don't think I'm considered one. I think I'm just a temporary placeholder. I mean, what if it kills you? I've never heard of a situation like this.
I'm sure I'll be fine. Then, after I guess become God of Death, then maybe I could revive Mousey. She would be very grateful, would she not?
Nix, everything we're talking about is entirely theoretical. I don't know if I'm willing to let you get hurt. I mean, it seems like things are finally going well around here.
Whatever harm may come to me is my doing. I'm sure I'll be fine. It'll be nice to have that weight off your shoulders. I think this will be good for you.
You know, maybe you're right. Maybe things will just be better without me holding on to it. Are you sure you want this? It's a curse, if anything. You already know the expectations.
It'll be fine. I'll be fine. Just hand it to me, Squeaks.
Do you feel any different?
You know, I feel...
I need to go get somebody. Where did he go? He just evaporated. Gathering resources is hard work. Oh, don't look at me like that, Jerry. I'm not the one who exploded the bus. Any chance I had of conjuring up a way to get out of here, you ruined. I hope you're proud of yourself with your smug little face. Because of you, I might never get to go home and see my daughter. You're just lucky I'm gathering the resources we have left. At least my arms aren't levers. Is it just me, or is this room changing size? It doesn't matter anyways.
Squeaks isn't picking up the phone I got her. I thought we were gonna talk and hang out like she said.
Wait a minute. Is that a pimple? Edith! You don't understand. Squeaks can't see me like this. Here you go, horsey. Some milk to make your bones strong.
Nix isn't really a cannibal, is he? I knew he was evil, but he wouldn't go that far. I mean, the man has to have some morals, right?
I feel like I'm getting less lucid by the day. I need to cool myself before I'm completely gone. What? Why am I down here again?
Where am I?